to Beautiful Mind today. If you're new here, I'm Roland Attenborough. I'm the leading Gann scientific and analytical researcher, and thank you for having me as a guest today. We're going to be talking about putting on trend lines and finding the changes in trend using the 45-degree angle, which is the 1 times 1 angle, and the 22.5-degree angle using the 1 times 2 angle. And we're going to build this up, and we're going to find the tops and the changes in trend, and you're going to really enjoy it. So stick around. We're going to make this really fast and value packed. Let's go ahead and figure out what we're doing. Okay, here we are. We're going to get our handy dandy trend lines. Sorry, it's up here. And we're going to just start from there and grow our chart. So what are we doing? Well, first of all, we need to establish a 45-degree angle. And I'm just going to establish it right now so that we can see just exactly what's going on. All right, so on this you can see now we've squared out a 45-degree angle. And this is the death angle, as Mr. Gann put it. And anytime that we pass below it, it's starting to get into a weak position. So what can we do to find out where our tops and bottoms are going to be and how we can do this? Let's just go really quickly ahead. So once you get this angle, I want you to go on here, and I want you to make sure your angle's showing so you can make your observations correct. All right, so next, let's just copy a bunch of these, and you're going to see how quick and easy this is. I wanted to show you this because I feel that this is really important. Okay, so we're going to make 3 and 4 of these right now, and then we're going to do the same thing going down, and then you're going to start to see the magic come together. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, I just wanted to show you this. We've just squared out our bottom through our top, okay, and bingo. Come on, guys, this doesn't need to be too in-depth. You can see our last parts here, right? Okay, let's continue it. There's our last breakaway and the beginning of our channel tops here, okay? So we could actually tighten this up, but it is the breakaway point, and I like to put mine either on the top or the breakaway point and align it with other tops as well. It helps us to define where an asset will sit down and react and have reactive tops. Okay, so now we have our 45-degree angles on here. I know you're like, well, okay, so that's important. Well, let's go ahead and let's clone one more. And watch this magic. All right, so we're going to take this one and we're going to go half. What's half of 45? Well, 22.5. Okay, so there's 23. So 22.5 is right about here. Well, what do you know? It's our bottom. Okay, important. Let's carry on. By the time you're done this tutorial in 5 minutes or so, you're going to really you're going to have learnt a lot. So we're going to make a few of these. Okay, then we're going to do the downside. You ready? Okay, let's do this. So to find our bottoms and tops, okay, so we're going to put our first one down here. We're going to put our second one, that's right off our bottom here. Okay, next, where's the next one going? What? Off our next what? Bottom? What are we finding? Our next bottoms? Wonder what we're going to find there. Let's go find out. Come on. This is what we do. We're scientific and analytical researchers. This is the kind of stuff that we do to find the problems, the solutions to these problems. There's another one. I wonder what will happen if this one happens. We violate that one. Looks pretty crappy, right? Let's keep going. Here's one more. Here's our 1 times 2 angle. Once we cross that, looks pretty crappy, right? There it is. Staying below that is weakness. All right, so that's cool. Let's go ahead now and let's go to our downward position from our tops. I think you guys are gonna like this much more, because here's the magic now. So we're gonna do one of these. We're gonna change the color so that we can differentiate between our channels moving up and down. Sorry for a second while I get this figured out, so just one sec. Alright, so getting our 45-degree angle in place. And we're going to bring it out to our bottom. Okay, there's our 45-degree angle. Squares out beginning of June. So now we're going to take this angle and we're just going to this is where the magic really starts to come together. So let's go have a look at this. Alright, I just want to show you how important these angles are. Let's just make a couple more, and we're going to attach them so that you guys can see how important these angles really are. Alright, so we're going to do a few more, then we're going to do our 1 times 2 angles. Okay? And then from there, you will get to see what's going on here. We're going to put one just kind of right up on here. This kind of helps us to determine a long trend from our first point, which is 68, and it really squares out nicely with our 67 and 68 and 69 from our bottom here. And we're going to talk about this, okay? So let's put on now our 1 times 2 angles, because where they cross, so there's a 1 times 2 angle crossing a 45-degree angle going down. So let's put a couple more on from here. We're going to do a 1 times 2 angle and a 1 times 4 angle. How do we do that? Well, let's just do that. So here we go. We have our 45-degree angle right here. We want to make it a 1 times 2 angle, so we need half of that. Right? So what do we need? There's 23, so 22.5 is thereabout. Let's just pop that up on there first, and then we're going to start cloning them. And here is where we're going to see the end of our campaigns, and the tops and bottoms occurring, and where they cross we can see a lot of weakness. So let's do another one here. And this is how you can set up your charts super fast, and you can therein you can find these areas where we're going to have a tendency for the trend to come up to you. Now I was calling for this top here on the 4th and around 63 and 64, and you can obviously now see why. I mean, it's pretty evident, I think, to you guys. So before we go any further, we're going to pop on a 1 times 4 angle just to finish off our topping feature here. So a 1 times 4 angle would mean that our 1 times 2 angle, right, would have to go down again to what? Right, 12, 11.5, so right there. Okay, let's put that on there, and there you go. Crossing our 45-degree angles here, the asset got very weak and started to show weakness. And you know, guys, it's no secret to seeing which way this is going right now. If we stay above these old bottoms right here, then that's really a show of strength. However, staying below these 1 times 2 angles here is an area where we're going to see a lot of resistance. And there's a crossing here, and we've just sort of had, you know, I was expecting a top to come in, and sure enough, is this going to follow through to the 12th, where we're going to sit back here, you know, and retest this? Are we going to go down lower and sit in this area? You know? So, and a 1 times 3 angle would be something that would come just somewhere around here. And that's a 53,000 Bitcoin, and it's probably likely we could get down to this area as well here. If we don't get above this, and let's just throw on another 45-degree angle, because honestly, we have one more lower top right here, right? It's passing through. We have to get above this. If this, and we have a 1 times 2 angle already, just comes right through that. So failing to get above this area, and particularly not getting above these angles here, is extreme weakness. Here's our top right here. I mean, we need to get above this before I feel that Bitcoin is going to show some extreme strength. We would have to really grow some extreme legs. Now, in Mr. Gann's angles, he says never short the asset when it stays above the 78-degree angle. Okay, well, let's go take a look at what a 78-degree angle would look like, because it's a pretty crazy angle, and he's talked about this a lot in his books and courses, and of course I own all of them. So he's saying, when you have an asset that reacts off of an angle, and as long as it stays above the 78-degree angle, it's really close right there. So the asset came up, and we've made our 78-degree angle, and he says never short any asset when it stays above this angle. This is a 1 times 4 angle, right? This is the reverse of this angle right here. So failing to stay above or catch up to these angles shows a lot of weakness, and we would have to take this angle, and if we have to stay above this, and it's looking like we're having a tough time trying to stay above that, and it's crossing, right? 1 times 2 angle, and we've started a 45 from here. So if we don't start getting above these angles, then we're going to be retesting lower areas. If we put a 1 times 3 angle on this right now, or sorry, a 1 times 4, it's going to come through here, and it's going to indicate much lower prices, right? So let's just take a look at that. So we'll add another one, and we'll make it a 1 times 4, and then we're going to see, right, because that's an 11.5-degree angle, right? There we go. It's about there. So from there, if we don't get, this is retesting this whole area here. If we don't get a good kick up here, it's we're coming back to retest these areas. It's just, that's what it looks like to me. Anyways, I thought I would show you how easy it is, and just looking at that, so you're saying here a 1 times 1 angle. So let's just go back to the beginning really quickly, right? Okay, so it's 38.5 here, or 39. So that represents right here on the chart, right? Look at this square grid. And one whole cycle would take us to 67.5. Okay, so our 45-degree angle is stating that when we reach 67.5, right, we have squared out our position from the bottom. And I want you to note this 45-degree angle here is crossing a lower 45-degree angle right here, and is below the 1 times 2 angle. And when we came up and tried to, burst above this top, right? We failed to do so. And that's a significant show of weakness. So that's squaring out our 45-degree angle, and that's how we were able to capture that right from the very bottom here. Right? And then everywhere on where these red lines are, so we could just take this and we could just say, all right, we'll set it up just like that. And if you're a musician, you'll understand this really well. These red lines, these are 45-degree angles. These represent the 8 octaves of music, and we've just aligned them on time. That's what Mr. Gann was doing. So from here, right, our next move up, right, 70, we didn't make it to 75. We got a lot of weakness right here, right? And you can see right now at 72, right, was having a lot of trouble. And same with here, the 71 to 72, right, just wasn't going to do it. So from here, we need to naturally move back. And look at, here's 55. Well, we've already had 55 once. So running a 1 times 2 angle up has intercepted these bottoms. And funny enough, now if we take a 1 times 3 angle, or a 1 times 4 angle, more importantly, it should run very close and through this area as well. So let's just go ahead and do that. I mean, I'm a researcher, and so are you now, so let's do it. We're going to clone that sucker up, and we're going to bring it down to, what, an 11, right? Because now you know how to make these angles. I've showed you how to do this. So no excuse. You should be able to find all these bottoms and tops and stuff. So there you go. Right? We came down, and we further moved beyond the 1 times 4 angle here. Right? It's pretty interesting. Okay? Well, let's move it down here and see what's going on. Well, holy smokes. We put it actually on this, and it's running right through there. Right? Our 1 times 4 angle from this bottom here has picked up this. We failed this bottom. Where's the next? Well, I mean, we have these other areas, right? Right? We lose this. Yeah, but it's right back to here. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Also, let's just take one more tool while we're here. I just would like to show you something really quickly that will reconfirm the strength and weakness. So let's just go to another tool here. Let's go over here. And I like the Pitchfork because we can, ascertain strength and weakness of a market using this tool. So we're going to set it up, and we're going to use our first 7-day top and the end of our channel bottom, and let's just make the magic happen. All right, here we go. So I got this as close as I can to this bottom right here. So let's go take a look at this. All right, so the energy on our 45-degree angle, right? We've been talking about this 67.5, and look, let's just tighten this up just a little bit right to that one. And there again, right, you can see the power of this tool. And look, it's, we literally, we're literally working within this tool. We keep coming back to this. And then as soon as we've lost this, right, it was over. It was over. Right? We came down, but we did not break our bottom. And that was another run and a sucker rally back up into our band, and then another rejection. And then what happened? We did break this bottom, right? We came back to these angles here, and we've been moving down in the 45-degree angle. So Losing this right now means we're in a sideways correction. And I feel from our day counts, from this top here, especially right here, right now we're 62 days to this bottom right here. And we have a ton of 62-day counts that are like appearing. So this is our first one, okay? Right here. Our next one is from our next top, right? Oops, sorry. From right here. And that's May 13th or 14th. Yeah, 14th right there. And I want you to note while we're using this bar, all right, let's go back to 62 days. When you start using this tool, this is probably one of the most important tools, this counting tool, giving you all the levels and stuff like that. This is a really important tool. So the middle point, or the gravity center, and take a look here, what's been going on, right? So after 62 days, there's a big thrust down, all right? So expecting that, we may be experiencing something of the same velocity back to this angle. It doesn't have to happen that way, but it's possible and likely if we don't stay above these 78-degree angles. And particularly falling behind this, again, shows weakness. So I just wanted to show you guys this, all right? So that's how you build up your charts from naked and find the position of an asset and where we think it may be headed. And by the looks of this, looks like we're still headed sideways to down unless we can get above all this. So, all right, guys, peace and love. Hope you enjoyed that.